In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Yoseka Notebook. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. So this is the Yoseka Notebook from Yoseka Stationery. This is a Taiwanese stationery brand, and let's go through the specs. It has a cement gray cardboard cover, a naked spine, or binding I think is what they call it, and it has 225 pages of paper made by a Taiwanese company called Conifer, and the paper is specifically called KBU2. It's an 85 GSM paper. It's kind of a gray in color paper. It's not bright white and it's not a cream color. It's sort of a gray color. And I like that on the product page they say that it's paper that's designed for fountain pens, and then they spell out what they mean by that. They say that it's quick drying, it's good for sheening, and it has minimal bleed. It comes in A5 only, and unfortunately they discontinued the notebook 2 days ago, so I don't know if this notebook's going to be available. That Taiwanese company Conifer makes a notebook called like the original line that looks just like this. I will see if I can get my hands on one. It uses a KBU paper. It doesn't specifically say KBU2. I believe the KBU2 was designed to be thicker. So anyway, enough about that. There are 14 signatures, 224 pages, and this was $20 made in Taiwan. Okay, take the little jacket off here. So it's blank. I like that when you look at this notebook from the top, you can't tell which one's the top and the bottom. It's not obvious because there's no binding. It's naked binding. Unlike the Midori MD, which doesn't really have what they say, it doesn't have a cover. They do cover the spine with mesh. This, you don't get that. You just have straight seeing the stitches here and the 14 different signatures that you have. It's very cool looking. I really like how minimal this is. On the back, we have the Yoseka logo debossed here, very subtle. I really like the presentation of this notebook. So we open it up. There's kind of this pale yellow paste down, which is mirrored here. Then down here in sort of a silver foil, we have some stuff up here I can't read. A5, 224 pages, I'm assuming. Yoseka Stationery, YosekaStationery.com, made in Taiwan. So the paper is completely blank. It only comes in blank. It's this gray color. This is a Graphilo. This is more of a cream color. Well, whatever, just take my word for it that it's not bright white. It's kind of a gray color. Now the paper definitely has a coating on it. Interestingly, it has a lot of texture, a lot of feedback. And when I was first testing this, I was trying to see what paper this maybe reminds me of, and my thought was the Graphilo paper, because that is a coated paper that has a somewhat pronounced texture to it. This actually has more feedback to it, and it's a very interesting paper to write on, very unique, and I do like it quite a lot. Now let's take a look at the paper test. Since there are no features here, there's no bookmark, no pocket, there's nothing, it's just blank pages. So here we have the paper test, and on the face of it, this looks really, really nice. There's no feathering, even though you get a feedback when you write on this paper. It doesn't show with the ink. The ink isn't, going into the texture of the paper, which is kind of interesting. Good shading. I don't really have too much sheening inks on here. The face of this looks really, really nice. No issues here. Now on the back, we do get a tiny bit of spotting in places on the pilot. Nothing that would prevent me from writing on both sides. A little bit more spotting showing up here on the Mont Blanc, but again, pretty happy to write on both sides of this paper with that pen. And then nothing from the other pens. And that's kind of interesting. The Copic sketch here, you can see it kind of going into the paper, but I don't believe it ever penetrates all the way through to the other side. Sharpie, it passed. The Sharpie was fine, there's no bleed. Pilot oil drawing pen, no bleed. The Staedtler permanent marker, no bleed. Very impressive performance. This is definitely, a coated paper performance. It does, I would say it does dry faster than the Graphilo, which takes forever to dry. It's probably one of the longest to dry papers, and so is Tomoe River. Tomoe River takes quite a long time to dry it. This is not a fast drying paper, but it is noticeably faster than the other ones. But still, if you write quickly, turn the page, you're going to get that. You're still going to smear the ink. So it's better, but it's not significant enough to make a huge difference. Now, the binding is a good quality. These thick cardboard covers kind of get in the way a little bit, which makes me not want to push too much because they're just kind of bunching up against each other. But the binding is very nice. It is a lay flat binding. It's not going to be like that 360-degree book note binding that I reviewed a few weeks ago. But that's pretty much it. So what are my pros and cons for the Yoseka Stationery Notebook? I think the biggest pro here is definitely that KBU2 paper. It is a unique paper. It has feedback, but it kind of behaves like a coated paper. I think it is a coated paper. You get good sheening, very good fountain pen performance, but you also do get a good amount of feedback, which I really, really like. Now, I also like the minimalist design of this notebook. I think that is really nice, and I like that it is $20, which I think is a very fair price for this nice of a notebook. In terms of cons, the biggest con is that just 2 days ago, they announced that they are not restocking this notebook, and it is unfortunately sold out. The brand that makes this for Yoseka Stationery, Conifer, does make a notebook that looks very similar to this. I haven't tried it. I don't know if there are any differences other than branding, but I'm looking into getting one of those, and I'm hoping that at least there's another avenue to buy this notebook because it is really, really nice. Other cons, it only came in blank, which isn't my favorite. I tend to prefer ruled or grid, but you only get the one option. You don't have any size options. It is just this version blank A5 size. So, do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.